All right, I will call to order the January 22nd meeting of the Traverse Planning Commission. And to begin, we will go through roll call. So as we start, I'm going to start with Richard here. If our new folks can just give an introduction and just a little bit about yourselves, that'll be helpful for myself and for anyone who may be listening in. So Richard?
My name's Richard Drew. I've lived in the city for 7 years, just outside the city for 27 more years, and married a hometown girl, and spent 25 years in the fire service and another 13. I'm currently with a roofing company down in Greenville, office manager there, and that's me.
I am Rebecca Cooper, native to TR, lived for 20 years, have been back almost 31, and been second term on the Planning Commission.
Diane Maxwell, been in city limits for about 21 years now. Love it, love it.
Alan Thomas, and I've lived in the city of Travelers Rest for about 6 years, lived here in the upstate for about 30. Have a 21-year-old daughter in college, and I'm the owner of a small construction restoration company. And
Philip Smith, born and raised right here in Travelers Rest. All 32 years of my life, well, not living here all 32 years, but I just recently relocated back to TR in August from Charleston. Was there for 5 years, and this is my second term on the Planning Commission.
So we're going to go back to Andrew Walker.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Andrew Walker. I'm current resident of, obviously, TR. So I've been in the upstate for 7 and TR for 4. Wife of 20 years and 2 kids, one at Furman, first year at Furman, and the other's a 5th grader. So a little bit of an age gap. But, you know, it's kind of like we have a single child now. So.
Thank you. So we all have our minutes so we have not met. Why? So.
It's been that long?
No, well,
Wow.
actually, no. That's what's on here, but that's not correct, is
We
it?
have one other, right?
Did we meet in September? Wasn't our big meeting in September? Okay. Anyway, we have minutes from the July 24th Planning Commission meeting. So if those have been reviewed, I would accept a motion to approve those minutes.
I have one change that I'll make to it.
Okay.
Under item 1C, it's Michelle and not Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
So I'll get that corrected, but if y'all
Okay.
could vote on that.
Okay, thank you. So motion to approve with the correction of spelling in item 1C.
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor, right hand. Opposed, like sign. Thank you. So we have no public hearing presentation tonight and no new business. So I did ask, just because it's been a while since we have met as an active group, I did ask Jay to put together kind of a update and review from the past year, just so it's a good reminder for us for what we addressed last year and kind of for the new people to help you know what we've addressed and bring to mind to us what we, some things we get questions about, why things aren't developing or how they're developing. So I thought it would be beneficial for us to have an update. So Jay, the floor is yours.
So you have a map in front of you. I also have it up on the screen there, just to give you an idea of where all of them are located, and to take advantage of my newly acquired mapping skills in GIS. So let's start with the top. We'll just start with the subdivisions that are going on. Right now, the two that are really working diligently towards completion, Spring Park, which is located behind the hospital and over by the assisted living there. So they have a total of 54 units that will be in there. They're at 27. I think I just signed a plat today. That'll be the 28th. So, I mean, they're moving along. They still have some building permits. I have a check mark where it says building permit. That means they have additional building permits pulled. I didn't pull all the numbers for the ones that are currently going.
Jay,
Yes.
could I ask you, on the map here, the refuge at the top, it really, that should be Spring Park?
It should be.
Okay.
Okay.
And thank you for, yes, that's great. So my mapping skills are coming along, is what the refuge, the one that is the uppermost is Spring Park. I copied and moved it over and did not change the name. I apologize for that. White Hawk Meadows, which is over by the YMCA, they have plats complete for both Phase 1A and Phase 1B. Phase 1A is 77% complete. Again, like Spring Park, there's building permits pulled. They're moving rapidly to the completion of there. If you go through there, you'll notice that street trees are up and that sort of thing. So we will get close to closing that first Phase 1A. We'll get close to closing that out soon. I haven't looked, but I am pretty sure we capped part of that, the asphalt. So the last phase is we'll do the last course. I believe that we capped it early because they were having drainage issues downstream. And what happens, just for your knowledge of construction, when you're 2 inches low or inch and a half low against the curb, the water going along the curb isn't getting into the drainage basins. It is a problem across the history of mankind that has not been able to be resolved. They tried for a while. They would dig a hole into the side so it would go that way, but they were getting so much water underneath the pavement, it was wearing that out. And so now they just allow it to run down the road face, which typically isn't terrible. But when there's a residential neighborhood at the bottom and you have Hurricane Helene, that's not a good mix. So we got a lot of water down there and got that kind of resolved. Phase 1B has been platted, 87 lots. None of them are complete. My level of complete means that somebody's bought it and somebody's living in it. They do have several under construction because they've pulled building permits in there, and so they're moving along. White Hawk Meadows Phase 2, if you drive through there, you get through, there'll be a single lane road that goes back to School Street, and we'll talk a little bit about that. There will be a subdivision that was approved. The preliminary plat was approved here. That was in the meeting minutes we just approved, so July. From July to now, they have not submitted to Greenville County Land Development. That's where they'll go with their engineering drawings. That's the next step in everything they do. Before anything continues forward, School Street on the backside, just so you know, it is a county road, and it is not up to standards. But they have completed the water line work, and as they move along that way, they will be working with Greenville County to bring that road up to standards. It will not come up to the standards of having curb and gutter. That's the county's decision in that matter, but it will be improved because there will be more traffic coming along that way. And that's the only other access they had coming out the backside there. So if you ever get any comments about that, what's going to happen on School Street, that is going to be fixed before. There are some minor changes, and it's Church Street. When you get out to 276, I think there's some minor changes to providing an extra turn lane maybe. Don't hold me to that being exact, but that is to alleviate additional traffic coming from White Hawk Meadows as it develops out. The refuge is right there on 276. There is 2 houses started up. There's 2 building permits they've started. They are platted. If you go to GIS, you will see the lots and everything on there. And so they are beginning into construction. Everything in the refuge is Rimbri custom homes. So these are all custom home. The other ones we're looking at are regional or national builders. And so this will probably move along at a different pace. There's just more put into a custom home. There's more cost to a custom home, and it takes a longer time period to bring it to completion. So Villas of North Valley we're waiting their first building permit. Lennar Homes will be building in there. They are platted, and they've met all the requirements that are there. It's a 55-plus subdivision. Been waiting for this one to come along, and it also included some conservation areas where the floodplain and some bunched arrowhead and things like that were. And so that gives the city an opportunity along the way to have, to work in these conservation areas, to have trails and that sort of thing, working towards that in the future. Leva is on Hemlock Street. So just below, just south of North Poinsett, it butts up against Tubbs Mountain Road. And the point of it goes over and almost touches 25. And so if you go back in there, not on this piece of property, there are a couple townhomes that are there that were built before. This will be a continuation of that, half of the project.
Is this, have they changed the name? Was it initially
was,
Hemlock something?
It was, yes, I've forgotten what the original name was, but it was under Hemlock.
Okay.
And now it's under Leva. So the 32 lots are on the easternmost side of the property. The 32 lots, that's the only thing that came before this board, because they were townhomes. It's in multifamily zoning, and they had to meet all the zoning requirements they have. So where they are is we have had a pre-construction meeting, which is the first step after you come out of land development. And so they should be starting construction out there imminently. I believe they're trying to resolve some SCDOT encroachment permit issues before they start in. I shouldn't say issues. Getting their encroachment permits to begin. So you will probably hear a lot of questions that will come about when dirt starts moving, especially from neighbors who are along Poplar. They'll see a lot start to happen over there. There'll be some removal of trees. They have paid into the tree mitigation fund. There will be trees that are replaced along there. There will be a trail, concrete trail that they'll be building along Beaver Dam Creek there that will run from 70, I want to call it 25, but Coleman's on
Plaza Drive.
Plaza Drive. We've worked with George Coleman as well, and we're going to get the rest of the easement there, and the city will offset the cost of making sure that the trail touches Plaza. So that will be the start of hopefully a trail that will go along Beaver Creek all the way back to Main Street in Pinestone. That's the goal.
So the multifamily that they proposed early on, is that still in the works?
I'll get
or-
down to that in the next little
Oh, sorry,
step right
because
there.
it says multifamily down
It
there.
does.
Thanks.
So we'll get to that one in just a second. The other two that are there one was a rezone, TR Upstate. It was rezoned to residential.
Is that from the
duplex.
Ace Hardware owner?
That
there?
is correct.
Okay.
And I listed it as one item. It came in as two separate properties, but I've listed it as one item. There's 4 duplex or 2 buildings on one site. There's 6 duplex, 3 buildings that'll be on the other side. There has been no movement forward on there. I don't think they really have a time frame for moving forward quickly. We've been through the rezone process, and so they'll have a lot of hoops to jump through, and they will come back before this board because it will be a subdivision of property. And so that will come back before you at some point when they start down that way. Pinestone triplex, there was a weird quadplex thing that was originally designed for this one corner that really doesn't work. And so they went with a triplex. It's a long road right there. And so it looks exactly like the townhomes that are right beside it. It'll just be 3 of them. They have not started on those. I am not sure what their time frame is. And there's been really no movement on that.
Do you have anything on the, what they're doing on State Park side, on
I can,
the retail, retail,
yeah.
resident, or
When I get
the
down to commercial, I can-
restaurant,
I can
food
touch
hall
on
kind
it.
of thing? Okay.
Yeah, I'll touch on that when
Okay.
we get down to commercial. I
Yeah.
don't have it on the list, but we can do that. Under multifamily, the only multifamily that has come through, well, multifamily doesn't come through you. Multifamily, it was previously zoned multifamily, and so that review went through me, and so I held them to the standards of multifamily. They will be apartments. They are a garden-style apartment, walk-up type. It's 120 units that would be in there. And so once they begin construction, I believe they're going into the apartments and the townhomes at the same time. And the construction in that area should be imminent. It'll require there'll be some earth moving on that site, but less than it would have been under previous conditions. We're allowing them to have a 3-story tall with a 4-story split on the downhill side so that they can take some of the grade out inside the building rather than a big wall at the edge.
Will that 4-story require them to have an elevator?
That goes through fire and all that, and so generally when you do the 3-4 split, as long as they can have access to the bottom side, they're fine. And so I thought they would need to use the trail that was being put in, but the fire department said, no, as long as I get a ladder back there, we're good. And I'm like, all right, you should be able to get a ladder back there. So we were good on that. Under commercial, the 2 things that did come before you, they were both flexible review district. It's down here at the station where there's already 8 units that are currently being used, and they needed to come back to make change. So it was a change to the flexible review district. It was minor change. One was the location of the event space, and then the other was the acceptance of the redesigned hotel piece. So there'll be a 3-story, and the bottom story has a food hall kind of thing, and there's 16 units above. So they'll go from 8 units to 24 units. That has been on the plan since day one. There is a basement to that building as well, where they have laundry and service-oriented pieces to it. So that occurs on the north side, so closest to Edward Street. Then the event center will be just to the south of the existing units that are there now. They revised kind of the design. It was going to be closer to Old Buncombe, and now it's going to move closer to the Swamp Rabbit, which, just so everybody knows, when it starts going, there's still an elevation change there, so it's event space, but it's going to be below the Swamp Rabbit. It won't be at the Swamp Rabbit. Hotel will be at the level of the Swamp Rabbit. And so just to touch base on the Pinestone in their commercial development. Let me handle that in rezones, because
Okay.
I do have a
Yeah,
Pinestone down there.
That's fine.
Rezones, the Woodlands, that is an addition to the assisted living over there, they can't have enough units. Their waiting list is remarkably long. And so they needed to add some units, and basically they had grandfathered it in over time as it was R10 or R15 zoning, which is residential. And so we finally brought it to multifamily so that they didn't have to come back every time. It was as of right, and it could be looked at. They've closed out the site work. I don't believe they've completed all of the building, but they have closed out the site work, which means they've got everything stabilized and everything in place outside of the building addition, and they're going forth with that. TRSM 206 is 206 South Main Street. If you haven't been there, I encourage you to go there. It's,
Lovely,
Twig and
lovely.
Tweed.
Yeah, lovely little
My
spot.
wife went by and sent me several pictures of things she liked, which means I think I was supposed to go by and get them at some point in time. But they have some really good stuff. It's interior design and that.
They've got some garden and that type thing planned for some on-site education and classes.
They were going to do, yes, in the back. And I think about the time originally they started was about the time of Helene, when they first started. And I think some of what was back there kind of got messed up in it. But yes, they have plans to continue that way. Pinestone. So this one, commercial phase 1, is the piece that has been vacant between 25 and South End Circle and whatever,
Lumpkin? Is it Lumpkin?
maybe
Lumpkin.
yes. And so this is the first building that would go in there. So they came before us. This is a plan development, and so they brought us the actual plans. They have taken it through engineering. They have had a pre-construction conference. They should be grading, and it hasn't started yet. I think they have an encroachment issue with DOL, come to think of it. And the first encroachment was onto South End Circle, and having to work through that. And DOT parlayed that into questions about their encroachment permit off farther down South End Circle into where the warehouses are that they're renovating now. So DOT cannot hold them up as it is on the warehouses that are moving forward, but I think they have chosen to hold them up on phase 1 of the commercial until they get that resolved. And so, which should just be filing some drawings and where that one is. The warehousing is coming along. Diane actually passed along their information that they've put out there.
Exchange, I think, is what it's titled now.
And it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, there's going to be some retail space in it. And so they've yet, I think, to lease any of it yet, but it's out to be leased now. So we're looking for small startup restaurants that are in like Gather Greenville kind of thing, different facilities like that, like a food hall where they fill a space almost on a temporary, almost on a permanent basis, depending.
Almost like an incubator.
Yeah, that's what it seems to me. I think they have a place in there for to do small farm-to-table kind of grocery market kind of thing, and then some retail space in there as well. They have courtyards that'll be between them, so that people can, get food, sit, and enjoy the space.
Common open space.
Common open space. And so they're moving along to that. So it's been good to see that get started because, they were trying to lease before, and it just looked like a warehouse. And people were like, I don't need a warehouse. And so now this will allow people to see what it is they would be going into, and they've had some good movement, I hope. And last one on the list is Valsetti. This is a piece of property that is very odd shaped, that is
That
right
one, the one adjacent that we rezoned
adjacent
last
to
year?
the Rite Aid.
Yeah,
The old Rite
okay.
Aid building on 25. And so it is C2 because it's more in keeping with what is beside it. I know that they are in the process of resolving encroachments with the, you can imagine, that's a tough encroachment. So they're working through how to get an encroachment onto Highway 25, which was developed not under an interstate system, but about as close to an interstate system as they can. It was the Appalachian Corridor, something like that. So it's limited access. And so getting an encroachment on there takes some doing, and so that's where that one stands. Can say Rite Aid has been purchased.
Okay.
We don't know what, if anything, the owner.
I think for those that may not know, if you get questions, the George Coleman Ford building that has come down, the original building that property is now owned by the Bank of Travelers Rest. And I think the understanding is that a new drive-through and perhaps a operations department for that, so. Do we have any update on timeline for the traffic light at Poinsett and Tubbs Mountain?
Yep, they're just moving at their own sweet time. That's,
Is there anything that we can do? Write letters, call, support?
this is always the part of every project that has stoplights in it. This is where it lollygags. And then I guarantee you it'll go in, and the lights will be up there, and then they'll be covered for a long period of time. You've seen it elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's just part of the process. It is in process. It is where it's supposed to be. There's really nothing more
We're just waiting on them.
we can do. It's waiting on the contractor that does it and puts it in. Everything's there ready for him to do. When that does occur, then we'll get into the final portion, striping. And so y'all will know the striping includes the diagonal at McElhaney Center 276. So it'll go directly diagonal across with an all stop. And so Swamp Rabbit traffic can go diagonally across there. We'll also have a crossing. We'll relocate the crossing on Main Street from where it is right now to line up with Pinestone.
Okay.
That is part of this project. We also have several other little striping things that'll take
Is there
place.
going to be a crossing at Chicora or somewhere along in there? Thought there was, but.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there is.
And
That is part of the project. And then we're going to restripe the crossings at Road and 276, because they're horrendous. Edward Street, where the Swamp Rabbit crosses, right there. And then Center Street. There'll be one.
And on the Poinsett project, and I know it's with Duke, but any idea when they're going to get those extra poles out of there?
Oh, no. There's no time.
No, we have a telephone pole that's 4 feet into an entry drive as well.
So, yeah, we can.
I mean, I'm sure this
I
storm
can
is going to
tell
back it
you,
up, so.
The lighting we're putting in along there will be coming online, and we're going to use solar.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
we've
Yeah.
grant funding for it, and by the time it was done, came well within what the dollars were. So us having that And we have a storm like this coming weekend, we'll still have light out there, so that'll be a good thing.
Anybody else have any questions for Jay on upcoming or what we've been waiting on, or since we've got?
Curiosity, will there be any striping at West Road and 276? Right there, right there at the Duke Power
Why
Substation.
the Duke building
And
is
I
up?
asked that because since I live in the Athens neighborhood, and there's been a lot of increased foot traffic getting to the Gold Line.
Yes, there's a crossing that will take place right at the Gold Line.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that is, yes. And they're allowing us to use the green color inside.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
My understanding is DOT is allowing us to use that.
Okay.
So, yes.
Yeah.
That is,
Because that's yeah. I'm like, wow. There's a lot of people moving, and of course with the high school traffic, students walking
Yeah.
and everything too.
that
so.
is. So it'll improve that. It'll improve that
Yeah.
a lot.
I know.
I just saw a woman with a baby in a stroller, and instead of crossing at the high school to walk down and go into that community, walked up to that community, down the bank, to cross 4 lanes of traffic, where there is no
I
crosswalk.
can tell you, and we are working with DOT, have a meeting with them. There will be some, so 4 lanes, what we know is 4 lanes from Poinsett to McElhaney along Main Street will go to 3. We know that north of McElhaney, you'll have the merge lanes, instead of having the merge lanes between McElhaney and Poinsett like they are. It'll create some more space. It'll just be striping, but it will create more space. We are in discussion with them to see how far we can take. Stripe 3 lanes, because they're going to be repaving and talking about that they would restripe it. Quick for the government, so we are in discussions with them on that.
All right, our next item is election of chair and vice chair. So we have a ballot here. Are we just going to do our ballots and give them back to you, or?
Yep, you just do a ballot and do that. The current chair is Rebecca. The current vice chair is Michelle, who is no longer on the commission. There is no limitation as to how long you can be chair or anything like that. And there's really no other requirements. So, job does entail kind of running the meeting, and the vice chairs kind of entails running the meeting when the chair's not there. Toughest one to probably go through is when we had Paris Mountain and being the chair of that. Typically, we don't have.
Straightforward.
So, yeah, if, I mean, you can go any way you want if somebody would like to put their name in, or any discussion y'all want to have about it before you ballot, or just ballot and that's up to y'all, any discussion.
Preference? I mean, this is probably the easiest I've ever seen it presented, is check it off and give it to you, so you'll notify us.
I'll count it right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so let's take a minute and,
Send it back home with me, and it might be a month till I get it back to you.
all right, let's just mark our ballots and give it to,
I'll come get them.
Like to mention.
They actually don't know who wants to do it. Okay, yeah. I don't know anyone yet.
So our next item is the planning official orientation information, and we have a calendar here before you. So, Jay, if you'll just remind us what we're required to do, are new people required to?
So the newbies, you get to do the orientation. And so I gave you an orientation slip. So you can let me know when you would like to do that, or if you would like to do it online. Some of those dates, I mean, giving a whole day to it is tough. And sometimes making the time to be able to go do it, I get it, can be tough. Yeah, if I could encourage you this way, if there's any chance that you could do it live, I like it because then you can have some interaction, ask some questions you might have, that sort of thing. If it just doesn't work, let me know that you want to do it online, and I can get the information back. So for the three of y'all, if you can email me back and say, so the city will pay for your orientation there. The good news is if you go for the day-long one, you get lunch. If that entices any, I don't know how much it really can. But so that's the information there, if you can just let me know.
All right, so I'm a little confused, though. On the last session in November, it says 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., but I think the times might be wrong, because then it says you must take both sessions to complete. Dinner will be provided.
Yeah, it must be 5:30.
It's probably the 5:30 to
Okay,
8:30.
I think so.
And I would encourage you not to wait till November.
Right.
To do it anyway. I would look at the first two dates really on the list, if those work. And if they don't, just let me know. They do have it scheduled online, and you can do it that way.
And the city
And
does
if
pay
you
that
have-
for it. The city pays that.
Yeah, they do.
That per person.
And then we can follow up. If you have any other questions, or I can meet with you or whatever and kind of go through my short rendition of orientation with you. Before my role here, I was on the private side, and so I appeared before many planning commissions and boiled it down to the simple fact, you're going to get two kinds of submittals here. One is going to be a rezon. The letter, they're going to request a map amendment. I knew this when I was on the other side, and this is how it is. When you come in, like court of law, you've got to prove it. You are asking for something to be changed, and you need to go through it and look at why it should be, why it's appropriate. And if you do not feel they've done adequately their job, they haven't proved it to you, then you can vote no. And there doesn't really have to be any reasoning behind it. It's just, that's the way it is. They have to prove it to you. The other kind is going to be subdivisions. And subdivisions are tough because if they submit a preliminary plat and they dot the i's, they cross the t's, and they have done everything they're supposed to do, you're really kind of checking to make sure they did. And once they do, kind of say, yeah. Might not like it, but you have to say, yeah. What happens if you don't, and I've seen it happen numerous times, if there's not good reasoning to do that, then you open up liability on the city. And it's happened in other planning commissions in the area where lawsuits are brought, not against planning commissioners, y'all are covered, by the way, but against the city, they could be brought. So do your homework on that. As one comes forward, we bring those to you, and know what you can, reasonings that can say, no, you haven't completed this, you haven't done this thing. For instance, if a traffic study has not been completed, haven't had a neighborhood meeting, if they haven't done the things, now part of that is my job. making sure they've done their stuff and have their ducks in a row before they come before you. But it is ultimately their responsibility to do that. So we're looking at it through the eyes of the code, and we're saying, did they meet the requirements of the code or did they not? That'll be how that goes.
That'll be, you give your recommendation prior to, and you kind of send it out to us and say, they've met all the requirements, X, Y, Z, but we still need to obviously double check with that.
So that's where we all have the opportunity to communicate directly with Jay.
That's
Via
exactly
email or
right.
a phone call or,
Other things they'll go over with you
yeah.
is y'all are not elected board.
right.
So somebody who's a proponent or an opponent of an item can't just come to you. They can't just call you. They can't just access you. They can't just pitch to you, have you over for lunch. They can't do that. You need to let me know if anybody does. Council, that's separate. They're elected officials, and people can talk to them and everything, as long as they don't have more than a quorum meet together, then, you know. So I did that when I was on on the private side as well. I would meet with councilmen. I tried to set a meeting one time with a planning commissioner, and he stood me up because it was the right thing. So that's kind of, they'll go through more in the orientation, and that's just my brief snippet. But save the questions for that till after orientation, and I'll be glad to.
So just
I don't-
communicate with Jay. He's kind of our, what we can and can't do. And sometimes it's hard, like he said, it's hard if you personally are not in favor of something, but if they've met the letter of the law, his job is to keep us out of litigation.
The way I
Where
look
the-
at it is this. When you run into places where the code supports something right, that's where the code needs to be. That's the places where we need to say,
Learn and move and fix it.
that's right.
Jay, maybe because we can find the code ourselves, maybe you can send it out to us so we can refresh it.
Absolutely. I'll send you a copy.
A link is fine, I'm sure.
I'll send a link.
So part of, and that's also part of the master plan, right? So,
Comprehensive
The
plan.
comprehensive plan, I'll send a link to that as well.
and it's good for 10 years. Is it coming up on?
Yeah,
Yeah, we are.
2028.
But to say, it's coming soon.
Yeah, 2028. It is coming quickly. But I will send the link to that as well. In rezone cases, that's where I go. And so when I go in there in the rezone, the number one thing I look at is the future land use map. That is the number one thing. If you are dealing with an annexation in rezone, future land use map doesn't help you so much. And so when we go to annexation and everything, I am going to go to our core values and those items that are very important, that they were spelled out in the comprehensive plan, that this is what we look at, and I'm going to judge it based off of those things.
And I would encourage, if you haven't, I think it was the January council meeting where Shannon gave a kind of an overview of 2025 and how core values and mission and vision were all addressed during that time. I just happened to realize it and jump in online, and it was a very good overview and a good reminder of, what we have envisioned and are working towards.
On a daily basis, the staff's working off of that. We work for the city. And so we're working towards doing the things that are very important in the city. So connectivity is very important to me before I ever got here, but that is a core value. And so that's huge to me. So everything I do, I'm like, cool, let's look at how we connect pedestrian, how we connect shared use trails, how we connect vehicles. And so that's one of those things. I can't remember all of them. Small town value, small town character is one of them. I'm gonna start mixing
No,
the
you go.
core values and the
Yeah, but, and
different
two,
elements.
for our new
Read through
guys,
that. It's
yeah.
easy to read through.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Um,
I'll send the link to those.
Philip was on here a few years ago, and like the minute I came to planning commission, he resigned and moved to Charleston.
What'd you do?
And then,
I
well,
got a-
I don't
I got-
know.
I got a
but-
job I couldn't refuse.
But I saw him the day before Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
At Walmart, and then I found out he had moved back, so I called him and I said, we have openings, please,
Yeah.
please apply.
So I've
glad he's
I've done the orientation before. Is it it's recommended just as a refresher to do it again, or?
Yeah, technically, and I'll find out how often you're
Yeah.
supposed to do continuing education to that. There are other things you can do for continuing education, but I would just touch base, and it'll be one of those things. I officiate soccer. I sit through the same
Hmm?
video every year, and like, okay, let's something new. But,
No, I understand. I
but
understand.
so
completely.
yeah, I would recommend doing that. So.
Yeah, I think I have all of it, so.
Questions, comments?
In the, on the ballot, Rebecca Cooper is chair, unanimous.
Thank you, thank you.
And then vice chair, Richard Drew. So there were several votes there, but Richard is vice chair. And I will mark that up and make sure we have minutes for the next meeting.
Perfect. Other questions, comments? If not, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
Real quick, I just want to reflect real quick back on the hotel.
Inn.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
So I just really want, to give a shout out to Rebecca for first, maybe honest to Walmart piece.
Yep.
Walmart was,
It was the first, yeah,
Walmart thing.
big controversy, so,
A lot
thank
of
you.
energy, but I think everybody, and then Jay, yourself, so, just kind of walking us through that as well, and one thing I do appreciate in terms of the elected official versus non is that, our information is not out on the website, so that I appreciate that as
Feel a
well.
little protected
Yeah,
there.
Right. I mean, the name is, but,
Yeah.
not anything else, so.
we had multiple requests, quite honestly, and I don't mind seeing it, if anybody hears it, for that information to be,
I mean, there was one in particular that really tried to strong-arm Shannon.
continuously no. It's, you're an appointed board, you're not elected, it's an unpaid thing and new. But you shouldn't have to put up with it, so. Because once it starts, I mean, it's just, you're gonna get inundated.
So that's probably a one every 15, 20 year thing.
Oh, listen, that one, so Naomi did the orientation, and Naomi used to be at Fountain Inn. And when I was on the public side, we did a rezone annexation. Quite honestly, I told Naomi, I said it was a bloodletting. And I said, if that was a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, this is before we had the Paris, I said, Paris Mountain's a 15.
Yep.
You're
Well, I
not
did-
gonna see that a lot. It's just, I don't know, the magnitude is so.
So I did have one of the lawyers for the other side try to reach out to me and meet with me. Of course, I obviously said that, I can't do that. I mean, I realize it's in the past, but
Will that come back, or is it done?
My understanding is he's moving forward with the multifamily.
And that'll go through Greenville County, though. Yeah, because we didn't, we voted against the annex. Because it won't have to, right? Because it doesn't, like
Because it's
you're,
zoned multifamily.
All right. We had a motion to adjourn. Did we finish that?
motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor? Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.